You are now in tune with
Mamba Radio.
What up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into Ground Mamba Radio. For those of you who don't know, my name is Jackson, and happy Aloha Friday to everybody out there. Happy Rusev Day as well. Still Rusev Day. I'll get to that a little bit later, but still Rusev Day for now. But nonetheless, hopefully you guys all enjoyed your week. It's for realsies this time. I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet. Just not a lot of content happened this week. Enough to get by and do an episode, but also, like I said, I've been as much as I've been mentioning in the last few episodes, I've been pretty busy. A lot of stuff going on in my personal life and all that stuff like that. And there's some times where I just feel like I don't want to do this anymore and this and that, or not don't want to do it anymore, but just I feel like I don't have time. But you know what? I love doing this. I love creating something and doing something, and it's fun for me. And like I said, if I gotta keep to it, I gotta stick to it, I gotta keep at it. And like I said, even if I gotta make time, for it. So I'm gonna take a little bit of time out of my day to get this through everything that happened this week. Like I said, not much happened this week, but like I said, just enough happened. Starting of course with the NBA, because basketball seems to never ever stop. The big thing that everyone was talking about this week was the old KD and CJ McCollum, air quotes here, extreme air quotes here, beef. That stemmed from CJ McCollum's new podcast he's got or whatever. To be fair, I didn't listen to the podcast. I'm not subscribed, nor probably will I. And it's like I said, it's nothing against him personally, but whatever. I probably won't listen to it either. But for those of you who are unaware, KD went on, Kevin Durant, KD went on CJ McCollum's podcast, and they were talking about stuff and shooting the shit or whatever. And, KD pretty much said, like, yeah, listen, CJ McCollum, talked about, said, hey, that was like, oh, that's kind of whack that, you guys got Boogie. And then KD pretty much said, like, well, look, man, it's not like he was going to win anyway. Like, whether we had him or not, like, not like he was going to win anyway. And CJ McCollum kind of took it some type of way. And then whatever. And it was all fun and games. But, typical NBA shit, they blew it way out of proportion. All these different things were saying that they're fighting, they're beefing. And it's just nothing. It's nothing serious, It's just guys, casually talking on a podcast and talking casual shit to each other. The same thing how everyone thought that fucking the shit with the same thing that went down between like Lonzo and Kuzma and Josh Hart and all the young guys on the Lakers, and they thought it was serious. And obviously it's not serious. You know what I mean? But that's how you got a bunch of fucking corny ass people, like the people we have. Not all of you, but most of the people who work in sports journalism, stuff like that. All the corny ass people who don't get that stuff. And when that happens, this is what you get as a result. Stuff just gets blown way out of proportion. These guys are just messing around, having fun, whatever, just being candid, and like I said, it got blown way out of proportion. And the thing is, I guess from what I understand, the podcast actually went up like 6 days ago, and for whatever reason, like it just started getting traction now, or 6 days ago, since it was like about a week old, and it just started getting traction now, which is again another, metaphor for sports journalism nowadays and stuff like that. But anyway, it's just it was just to me personally, like I said, I kind of liked it in a sense where it was finally we're getting two guys going at it. Oh, and then they also had they exchanged some stuff, some words on Twitter, and he's like, yeah, man, I call out, and pretty much CJ, it's out there, you can look it up. I'm not gonna try and read everything word for word, but it pretty much, he said, like, CJ McCollum was like, yeah, man, that's pretty fucked up. And he's like, man, what are you talking about, bro? Like, he's like, we were just talking, and then that's what it was, man. And then he said, like, snakes in the grass and all this shit. And it was so funny in so many ways, just because of all the unironic statements that were made, like KD saying snakes in the grass and just saying, like, I just did your fucking podcast, and like, it's just funny, man. And like I said, this whole situation is funny because it's like, a a lot of the fans, air quotes, big air quotes there too, the fans and you know, people and stuff like that, you know, say they want these players to be more open, more candid, less scripted, because then you get stuff like what LeBron's doing. You know, you get a LeBron type of press conference every time. You get the same bullshit answers over and over and over again. These guys are all completely media trained, which is great for them and their brands. I understand, but you know, it's refreshing to see stuff like it was refreshing for when KD did those Bill Simmons podcasts. It was refreshing because you finally got to see a superstar, someone on the level and the type of player that KD is, be unfiltered, be uncensored, get to speak his mind, not have to worry about, you know, oh man, I might get in trouble for saying this, or oh man, this is going to affect my brand and no one's going to like me and blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's refreshing, and it was refreshing for this sense because, you know, it's almost like CJ McCollum didn't know what he was getting himself into doing something like this with KD. It's like CJ McCollum tried to be like too much like a hokey, just run-of-the-mill podcast kind of thing, putting on the front where, no, man, we're having a casual conversation a la LeBron, you know, kind of thing that he's doing. But then, you know, KD just came with the shits, man. He's like, yo, like, come on, man, like, you guys weren't gonna win anyway, like, what the fuck, like, for like, and then because is he wrong? Of course he's not wrong. Of course, like, the Blazers aren't gonna beat the Warriors this year anyway. So he's just speaking the truth, and like I said, this whole thing was just super funny, and it just adds to, you know, the complex personality that is KD, and to me it is so fascinating how, you know, like I just mentioned it before, all these people want is for players to be more candid, more open-minded, more authentic is what they're saying, more real and true. But once someone's actually doing it, and it just happens to be KD, everyone gives him shit for it, you know. And a lot of it is because, you know, I know a lot of it's because of the way he chose to go to, you know, the Warriors and everything that happened, and they're saying, oh, how, look at you, you're the one saying snakes in the grass when you left your team behind to join the 73-win team that just beat you in the playoffs, and blah, blah, blah. And I get it, you know what I mean? Like I said, that KD is so self-aware, and he knows it comes with the territory. And he's not embracing being the villain. He's just owning who he is, and he knows who he is. He knows how people perceive him. He knows. He just knows. He's so self-aware, and he runs with it. And the best example of this was when and to be fair, it does rub a lot of people the wrong way. It rubs me the wrong way sometimes. It rubbed me the wrong way in the last Bill Simmons podcast he did. This time, not so much. I thought it was pretty good because someone was like, there's the video of it's out there on Twitter, you can watch it, but a reporter was like, oh, hey, he's like, so you're upset about the thing? And Katie like knew someone was going to ask him, and he was ready for it, and someone asked him like, why are you mad? Pretty much saying, why are you mad? And he clapped back at the reporter like, hey, like, why am I mad? Like, why are you saying I'm mad? He's like, I'm the one that just said something. CJ McCollum's the one that's mad. And they're like, and he had the guy flustered. And I know I've said this before, and I'm going to continue to say it until it gets better. Journalism in 2018, as a wannabe journalist myself, journalism in 2018, not just in sports, but everywhere, is so. It's just it should be so much better, and this is an example right here of it. And just these people get paid, you know, obviously not a lot of money, but they get paid to do their job, and you know, their job is to essentially criticize what the players do. And there needs to be someone and it's refreshing when someone criticizes, when the people who are being criticized criticize the people doing the criticism. And so it was great to hear KD clap back at the guy saying like, look, man, I'm not the one that's mad. I know, because KD knows that this guy is just trying to ask this question to get a response out of him in order to get headlines for whatever media site he works for. And he knows that it's going to be a story. And he knows that's what's going to do it, you know? And so KD just clapped back, and the guy didn't have a response. The guy was completely flustered, and he didn't know how to respond. And maybe he was an independent guy on his own and didn't know what to do. I don't know. Or maybe he was told to ask that question. I don't know. But like I said, it's refreshing to see that happen. And as journalists, they need to do better. Journalists need to do better. They need to ask smarter questions. They need to ask better questions. They need to ask not as stupid questions. And it's just, then we'll get less moments like this. We'll get less things that happen with Russ. And then shout out to the players who don't stand up, who stand up against stupid questions like that. And, so shout out to those guys. I'm ranting on a little bit too long. I could save a whole rant about this stuff for another episode. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on in the NBA. Some other news, Clint Capella this morning re-signed to the Rockets for, I think, like $90 million. So congrats to the Rockets with that, I guess, and congrats to Clint Capella for securing the bag. Another move, Vince Carter went to the Hawks. Congrats to him, too. Like I said, damn, I think he's about to be 41 this year. You know what I mean? Hey, man, keep getting them checks, man. Keep getting them checks. Shout out to Jalen Rose. Keep getting them checks. All-star Vince Carter down in Atlanta. And also Team USA got together and they're starting their first practices. And like I said, I believe Kawhi is not there. So, like I said, we kind of figured that was the sense since, that was going to be the case since, Greg Popovich is the head coach of that team and stuff. So, like I said, we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, it's not for another couple years or so, but they're going to be doing all the trial games and all that stuff coming up soon. So it's great to see that them get together. And it's always cool to see a lot of the top players together doing their thing. So, but yeah, that was basketball. Moving on to baseball quickly. Dodgers, Angels, both Dodgers and Angels are pretty hot right now coming out of the gate. Dodgers staying hot. I believe they're still in first place. Let me check if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they are. Still a game and a half up on the Diamondbacks. Pretty long road trip that they've been on so far since the All-Star break started, or since the end of the All-Star break, excuse me. They did their thing against the Brewers. Lost the series against the Phillies. It was tough. It was a great moment to see Chase Utley come back to the Phillies, and especially since he announced he was retiring. At the end of the season, excuse me, and it was great for him to get the standing O and all that stuff. So that was cool to see. And speaking of retiring, I guess I'll just interject with it now. Andre Ethier is retiring. If you have not heard, he made the announcement. He's not waiting into the season. He just retired flat out. It was bound to happen soon. He wasn't getting as much playing time, actually any playing time at all. And just want to say thanks to Andre Ethier for all the stuff that he's done for the Dodgers. He was, one of the last remaining guys, or one of the last guys from that period of when the Dodgers, in the early 2010s, when they were going to the, I think they had like 4 or 5 straight national championship series, and they wouldn't have with Joe Torre. It was Ethier, it was Kemp when he was young, it was early Kershaw, who also had James Loney, Russell Martin, guys like that whole era. And like I said, he's one of the last ones left, and that stayed through and through. And like I said, thank you to Andre Ethier for everything that he's done as a Dodger. I think they're going to honor him on like Friday's game next week or something like that. I can't really remember. But yeah, like I said, thanks to Andre Ethier for that. But yeah, the Dodgers they got to keep on keeping on, and they're trucking along. They won the first game against the Braves last night. I believe their game is starting pretty soon today, in a 4-game series against the Braves. What I see, and like I said, it's going to be like I said, they just got to keep on keeping on. They're playing well. Like I said, they're staying hot. The bats are staying hot. Manny Machado is definitely adding to this, adding to it. He had his first, I'm assuming, of many home runs as a Dodger last night, and like I said, hopefully they can keep things going. They can keep things rocking, hold that lead in first place. And with the Angels, hopefully they can, try to stay hot. They've been doing pretty well. They can, they're 500 right now, way down there in the standings in the AL West. Damn, I looked it up because especially since the Athletics have been red hot lately, the Mariners are staying consistent. They had such a red hot start. That they can, have a little bit of a leeway. The Astros are just, being the Astros. But yeah, the Angels, man, they. Like I said, they're playing much better. That's for damn sure. They're playing much better. And it looks like they found their bats somewhere along this All-Star break, because they're like, even though they haven't really been, like, they've been winning games, but they've been putting up some serious numbers, man. They got 14 runs against the Astros. And they got 12 and 11 in the last 2 games against the White Sox. So like I said, they're finding their bats. They're there, and it helps that Mike Trout and Ohtani are just hitting the shit out of the ball. But like I said, they just got to get some help from everywhere else. They got to stay healthy. I don't know if they're gonna make any trades or anything, or if they made any trades, or if they're gonna do anything else like that. I'm not really sure. But like I said, the postseason looks like a far cry for them at this point, this late in the season. But I mean, we'll see. You never know. But I mean, with that being said, there's a lot of they're gonna have to get through their own conference first, or their own division first, excuse me. And it's looking pretty tough. Like I said, it looks like a pretty tough mountain to climb. Especially, starting again today, they're playing against the Mariners, and so like 3 huge games for them. And like I said, hopefully they can try to switch the momentum. And try to turn the season around. It's never too late. Well, it's never too late until it's too late. So yeah, that's how baseball went down. Quickly with the NFL, not a whole lot going on. They got the training camps are starting, and then there's still a couple of holdouts and stuff like that. And the one holdout pertaining most importantly to me, at least, is Khalil Mack, and he he's still holding out, trying to work out a new deal and stuff like that. And in this in the wake of that news, it came out, I believe, a couple of days ago or so that John Gruden has not spoken with Khalil Mack yet since joining the Raiders. Now I get it, everyone's going to defend this and say, hey, well, he's a defensive guy, or John Gruden's an offensive guy. And, Khalil Mack's a defensive player, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't really worry about the defense, blah, 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 blah. So he's the head fucking coach, all right? And that is arguably their best player on the team, who is looking for a new contract that they should have given him as soon as he asked for it. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good news to hear. And like I said, they need to give him all the money that they need to give him. Khalil Mack is a once-in-a-generation type talent. And, he's just an unbelievable player that you need to just anchor him. He needs to be the anchor of that defense going forward for the next decade, okay? And, like I said, it's just... I mentioned it before when Gruden first got hired. I mentioned it on this podcast. Not that I didn't like the hiring when it first happened, but I just was kind of skeptical about it. Because it's so blatantly a PR move for when the Raiders moved to Las Vegas, and it's just so far nothing. It's not that a lot of bad stuff happens; just nothing good has happened yet. Like I said, it's a total PR move. First thing he does as the Raiders coach is he trades Marquette King, the best punter in the league. He trades the best punter in the league just because he has a personal vendetta against him. And then they trade him to the Broncos, a team in the division. And like I said, first he does that. Now this comes out that he hasn't spoken with Khalil Mack, when it's like obviously you should, again, because that's arguably your best player on the whole damn team. And like I said, it's getting me hot thinking about it, man. Because like I said, like I said, I get that the Raiders are a business, but at the same time, it's like if they gotta handle their business on the field if they want to continue to be able to handle their business off the field. And I'm not completely out yet on this Gruden hiring, and I love John Gruden. I love them in the booth. I love all the Spider 2-Eye banana shit. I loved all that stuff. But like I said before, man, it's when you're out of the coaching for that long, it's tough to get back into it, And like I said, that's the first red flag for me when it was like, this is just a PR move. And like I said, I'm not completely out yet because he still has... He's got to coach the games to see if he can coach or not still. So like I said, I'm not completely out yet, but I'm just really not liking what I'm seeing so far. Especially when this is going to be the last year that the team's in Oakland. That's the saddest part to me. Is like, I'm finally going to go up there this year. I'm trying to figure out which game to go to. I'm finally going to go up to a game in Oakland. I've seen a couple games. I've seen a game down here in SubHub Center since they did it. I saw a game down in San Diego because that was the closest drive for me and stuff. But it's been a dream of mine since I was first started liking the Raiders since I was 7 or 8 years old or something like that. To sit in the black hole and watch a Raider game. So like I said, I'll be up there this year, and it would just be horrible for the teams last year in Oakland for it to go out in a blaze, or not a blaze of glory, in a dumpster fire-ish kind of blaze, and then who knows how things are going to go. But like I said, I'm hoping things are going better. I'm just hoping things will turn around better, and they just give him first they got to give Khalil Mack all the money he needs. Just give that man what he wants, keep him, and we'll build from there. But yeah, what else is there? Not much. And then last but certainly most not least, some wrestling, mainly from the world of WWE. Biggest news, besides the problematic name, the all-women's pay-per-view, WWE Evolution, has been announced in the historical announcement. Which is, like I said, all jokes aside, this is great for the women's division, especially, after everything that happened with, the Greatest Royal Rumble. They weren't allowed to even travel to Saudi Arabia for a lot of reasons. This is great. All women's pay-per-view, and it should be really cool. Honestly, it should be really, really cool. Like I said, I'm interested to see how they're going to book it. It's going to be sometime in October, so there's a lot of time to develop some stories. There's rumors that they might add women's tag belts. Some people are saying they'll do Raw and SmackDown belts, just like they do with the men's division. Sometimes there's also rumors that they'll just have one pair of belts that float between Raw and SmackDown, and then they'll be defended at the dual branded pay-per-views. I'm personally in favor of that. So that way, it's just there's too many belts. When there's too many belts going around, then it almost devalues it devalues having a belt in general, which it already kind of are right now, just because it seems like belts don't mean anything at this point, especially since we don't even see the Universal belt anymore on TV, or at all, even on pay-per-views. But like I said, I'm interested to see what they do. Like I said, I'm optimistic with it. They're probably going to screw something up, knowing WWE. I just hope it's not too bad, whatever it is. But like I said, they got some stuff to work out first with SummerSlam before they got to worry about the women's pay-per-view, because SummerSlam's getting close, and there's a lot of questions that are up in the air right now, and the biggest one obviously being what is going to happen with the Universal title, because it seems like WWE is at the end of the rope with this whole thing. Like I said in the last episode, it has to happen. They have to do it. It's almost like they just have to take the belt off of Brock Lesnar. Just give it to Reigns. Let the coronation be at SummerSlam. They shouldn't care about all the boos that are going to come down because of the Brooklyn Smarky crowd. They shouldn't care about all the stuff that happens. They just need to get the belt off Brock, so that way they can move forward with this. Because like I said in the last one, if they don't, when's the next time it's going to happen other than that at WrestleMania again? And also, how many more chances are they going to give to Roman Reigns? This is his fifth chance, And it's crazy. It's just like I said, I talked about it enough at this point. But like I said, they have to do it. And speaking of the thing with Reigns, so apparently people thought it was going to be against Bobby Lashley, because. Or they thought it was going to be against Bobby Lashley. That's the whole reason they brought him in. And then there was this rumor that they brought back Hulk Hogan, or he's being recognized by the WWE again. And a big thing was they're going to have Bobby Lashley beat Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam to become the first African American champion in WWE history, which is insane if you think about that. Just if you think about the history of the WWE, how there's never been an African American or a black guy as the WWE champion, that is insane. But it is true and very sad. And they're going to do this whole thing where they're going to have Hulk Hogan coronate him, which is, problematic in itself, and very just kind of, it's not necessary, but that's just the type of, situation that they're dealing with because of the whole Hulk Hogan thing and why he, the whole racist remarks that he made, and being banned away, and then it's just, the result of, an old guy like Vince McMahon saying, well, listen, if this can be Hulk Hogan's apology, he can come out and that'll prove to everybody that Hulk Hogan isn't racist. If he coronates Bobby Lashley the first ever black champion, then that's such a caveman way of thinking. But that's what happens when you have a caveman, running the show. So, but apparently that's not going to happen. At least not yet. Because Roman Reigns, in more 50-50 booking, this time with Bobby Lashley, lost to Bobby Lashley at the pay-per-view in clean in a nothing match that had no stakes or anything. But in the number one contender match that number one contender tournament that they ended up meeting in the quote finals for, Bobby Lashley lost clean. So now it's like people thought, oh, well, at least there would be a triple threat match because Bobby Lashley won at Extreme Rules. And apparently that's not the case because now, unless they do something later, they for whatever reason, they just throw Bobby Lashley, and I don't know. Now it's, as of now, Roman Reigns is the number one contender, and it will be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar again at SummerSlam. So there's that problem that I just talked about a little bit earlier, and then now there's also, what do they do with Bobby Lashley? Like, it's almost like they have to find a way to shoehorn him into this match and to make it a triple threat, because I don't know what else they do with him. I really don't know what else to do with him. Because, and especially, but it's gonna be tough because, like I said, he didn't lose by any shenanigans or anything. He just lost clean. He lost clean. Yeah, I don't know. And like I said, there's a lot of other questions that are going in that are out there, about what to do with them, going into SummerSlam. Like what happened to Braun and Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens. Obviously Braun Strowman's not going to lose the briefcase because that's, that'd be stupid for them to do that. But I guess they just needed to give Kevin Owens a feud anyway. What happens with the Intercontinental Championship? Do they give it back to Seth Rollins? Does Dolph Ziggler keep it? Does Drew McIntyre get himself involved in this thing somehow? I'm sure that's what's going to happen. That's what should happen. They should find a way to shoehorn Drew McIntyre into this because he looks like he's ready to. He looks like if he just looks ready to be given a huge opportunity to be a huge superstar in the WWE. And putting the belt on him would be great. I don't know what is going on with the tag division. I don't know what they're doing on both Raw and SmackDown. I don't know what's going on with that. The women's side of things, it's just a matter. I don't know. Are they gonna have? Are they gonna give the belt to Ronda Rousey already? I don't know. It feels like they should wait a little bit. But I mean, again, it's like then they have to wait till WrestleMania, and that's almost a little too cliche. I don't know. We'll have to figure out what they do there. Women's side of things on SmackDown, it almost seemed like it was impossible to ruin Asuka. But WWE found out a way to do it. First by ruining the streak, then by making her look like a fucking idiot again in this feud against Carmella, and now it seems that they're moving on from it. And Becky Lynch, who is my favorite, and I love Becky Lynch so much. You guys know how much I love Becky Lynch. But with Becky Lynch, it looks like she's now the number one contender, and it's like everyone wants her to have the belt. I think that maybe they should just finally take the belt off Carmella, who by all means should be the most smarmiest, sneakiest, most vilest, devilish heels, but they're not booking her that way when she's clearly built to be that type of heel. They're not. I hope that they give the belt to Becky Lynch at SummerSlam. It'd be a great moment for Becky Lynch. Gets the belt off Carmella. Nothing against her. Just gets the belt off Carmella. Then we can move on forward with this. And hopefully they can do a feud with Asuka and Becky Lynch. So they can have some great matches going forward or something like that. Maybe that happens. I don't know. But at least what they're getting right. They're getting it right with Randy Orton turning him heel. It looks like he's going to go into a feud with Shinsuke Nakamura pretty soon for the U.S. title. I don't know. I mean, after he's done with the Jeff Hardy stuff, that's what it looks like is going to happen. And like I say, his heel Randy Orton's the best Randy Orton because he just is naturally has the dick persona. He was IRL before. I know he's cleaned it up a little bit over the last, decade or so. He's toned it down a bunch and he's gotten a lot better. But like I said, it's just heel Randy Orton's the best Randy Orton, and also the AJ Styles Samoa Joe thing. Finally, baby, we're gonna get some great matches. I don't think Samoa Joe's gonna get the belt as much as I want him to. Again, because they want to keep the belt on AJ Styles going forward because he's the cover athlete for the WWE 2K video game. Like I said, we're finally going to get a great feud. Like I said, hopefully they can keep this going for a couple pay-per-views. And, like I said, I'm just excited. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, let's just let them go. That's all they got to do. All they got to do is just let them go. They don't do anything fucking stupid like they did with Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles. Just let them go. Just let them wrestle. That's all you have to have them do. That's all you need to have them do is just wrestle. And you'll get a great-ass match, especially in a place like Brooklyn. Just let them wrestle. But yeah, like I said, SummerSlam, WWE's been on a real, it's do or die for them right now, man. They've been having some struggles, as far as with the content that they're putting on TV. There's a lot more moaning and groaning from the fans, even the more casual fans, about what's been going on. So like I said, SummerSlam is going to be huge for them. They've had a really tough post-WrestleMania run. And like I said, hopefully they can, turn things around at SummerSlam. And like I said, SummerSlam this year is going to be huge for them. Huge for WWE. And yeah, that's about it for me. I got to get out of here. Like I said, short and sweet finally. I kept it to about 30 minutes or so. So look at me, proud of me. But like always, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for sticking with me. And if you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, all that YouTuber bullshit. And if you didn't like it, don't worry about it. You don't have to. But if you know someone else who might, tell them to. That'd be great. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And also, if you want to follow along on all the socials, you may. Whether you want to, say what's up or agree with me on stuff, or you want to yell at me about some of the opinions I have on all these things. Maybe you don't like the way I feel about John Gruden or whatever. I don't know. But follow along, get at me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr. It's at Brown Mamba Radio, at Brown Mamba, at JXCKSXNNN. That's 3 N's. You can follow along there. And like always, everything is available on the website, brownmamba.us. I know I haven't updated it in a while. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. Don't worry. But everything is on brownmamba.radio or brownmamba.us. Yeah, that's going to do it for me, everybody. Shout out to all the blog boys, as always, and blog girls. I see you out there, ladies. I see you. Don't worry. And hopefully you guys, have a great weekend. Hopefully you guys, are safe and responsible and all that stuff, whatever you do. Don't know about much going on this weekend here in LA, but wherever you're at, hopefully, like I said, you guys have fun and don't just have a good weekend. Make it a good weekend. Again, be safe, responsible, but always have fun. Drink more water. Your health is wealth. Be kind to each other. It's easy to be nice. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.